Genoa City is bracing for one of its most explosive weeks yet as long-buried tensions, shocking reunions, and dangerous power plays collide. A long-awaited wedding brings joy to a few, but a surprise kiss sends shockwaves through the Abbott family, igniting old flames and stirring new complications. Meanwhile, Nick and Sharon's frantic search for Noah spirals into chaos when a desperate message forces Victor into emergency action. With lives on the line and Los Angeles danger closing in, Victor plots a high-stakes counterattack that could change everything. Back in Genoa City, Phyllis and Lily finally drop the pretense and go to war, with Kane caught in the crossfire. Their feud intensifies just as Victor and Jack prepare their own corporate battle, each ready to unleash bold moves that could devastate the other. But the most dangerous gamble of the week belongs to Kyle. His risky alliance with Diane may seem like a smart strategy, but one wrong move could cost him the future he wants with Claire. Victor is watching closely, and one misstep could turn Kyle into a permanent enemy. With emotions rising and loyalties snapping, every choice threatens to ignite the next Genoa City disaster. Welcome to Celebrity Gossip 24 Hours, where the drama unfolds and the stories captivate. Join us as we delve into the intriguing world of Young and the Restless, revealing the untold tales and hidden truths behind the headlines. Young and Restless Weekly Breakdown, November 24th to 28th. A wedding, a kiss, and a frantic search rock Genoa City. The week leading into Thanksgiving delivered a powerful blend of romance, unease, and long-buried emotions across the Young and the Restless. From a dream wedding years in the making to a disturbing disappearance in Los Angeles, nearly every major family in Genoa City found themselves facing a crossroads they didn't expect. Danny and Christine celebrated their long-awaited, happily ever after, while Sharon and Nick launched a desperate hunt for Noah. Meanwhile, Claire made a heartfelt move toward Kyle, and holiday gatherings stirred tensions no amount of pumpkin pie could sweeten. Danny and Christine's fairy tale wedding, with a familiar redhead twist. The Grand Phoenix Ballroom shimmered as Danny and Christine finally said, "I do" again. Friends toasted to the pair's decades-long journey, sharing memories that blended nostalgia with heartfelt hope for the future. Daniel, battling his anxiety, delivered a surprise musical duet with Tessa that left the room misty-eyed, and left Danny beaming with pride. Christine spoke with emotion about the rare gift of getting a second chance at a first love. Danny echoed the sentiment, promising that the chapters to come would be their best yet. But in classic Genoa City fashion, the celebration didn't stay complication-free for long. Phyllis made a late entrance with Kane at her side, offering a toast that hovered somewhere between sincerity and unresolved regret. Later that night, she and Kane found themselves in a familiar push and pull of passion and frustration, playing at shaking off old wounds while creating new confusion. The newlyweds had their own unexpected encounter when they ran into Phyllis again before leaving for Paris. She offered a polite farewell, one that even Kane questioned. Was she truly ready to let go of Danny, or was this her last symbolic claim? Sharon and Nick's race against time, Noah missing in Los Angeles. While romance filled the air in Genoa City, tension escalated on the West Coast. Sharon and Nick's search for Noah intensified as they followed clues connected to Matt Clark, now hiding under the alias Mitch Bacall. Matt fed them cryptic hints, unsettling innuendo, and just enough truth to keep them chasing him deeper into dangerous territory. A torn baggie resembling something Matt had mocked them with earlier only fueled their fear. Detective Burrow and Annie offered help, though Sharon sensed something off, an evasiveness she couldn't quite identify. With Thanksgiving approaching and no sign of Noah or Sienna, Sharon's worry turned into desperation. Nick remained determined, refusing to let fear take over as they followed every lead. Back home, Victor continued insisting that everything would resolve itself, while Nikki's quiet anxiety told a very different story. A Newman Thanksgiving rekindled trust and lingering worries. At the Newman Ranch, the family tried to maintain holiday normalcy despite their unease. Victoria brought Nate along, reintroducing him cautiously after past betrayals. Nate's humility surprised even Victor, who accepted Victoria's gratitude and acknowledged Nate's recent support. In a rare moment of softness, Victor offered forgiveness, although he jokingly reminded everyone that his memory never fails him. The family shared a warm toast, but the empty chairs where Nick and Noah should have been cast a shadow over the celebration. The Abbott family feast, comfort, warmth, and a kiss no one saw coming. The Abbotts gathered with their usual warmth, filling the mansion with laughter, desserts, and lively conversation. Sally and Billy arrived with pies and light-hearted tension, while Diane, Ashley, Tracy, and Kyle embraced the holiday spirit. Claire stopped by with a pie and a soft smile. Though unsure whether she belonged at the gathering, the Abbotts encouraged her to stay long enough to share what she was grateful for. Her words, filled with humility and appreciation for her second chance, left the room quiet and deeply moved. As she prepared to leave, Claire shared a gentle kiss with Kyle on the porch. It was brief, sweet, and earnest, leaving Kyle stunned as she walked away into the chilly night. Though neither said the words aloud, the spark between them was undeniable. Clashes at Crimson Lights, Phyllis, Kane, and Lily collide again. Thanksgiving at Crimson Lights brought both generosity and drama. Esther, Amy, and Lily served meals to community members, and Kane stopped by intending to help quietly. But that peace didn't last long. Phyllis swept in, immediately creating tension. Her pointed words about Kane's complicated loyalties and Lily's presence in his mind sparked a heated back and forth. Lily overheard just enough to confirm her fears. Kane wasn't as free of his past as he claimed. She confronted him directly, insisting he couldn't rebuild himself while tangled up in Phyllis's chaos. The ultimatum, intentional or not, left Kane rattled, and Phyllis even more defensive. Back at the hotel, Phyllis reminded him that sooner or later, he would have to choose what future he truly wanted. A Thanksgiving classic returns. CBS aired a vintage episode featuring Danny and Christine's original Hawaiian wedding, a beautiful parallel to their modern celebration. Sun-kissed vows and old family tensions offered a nostalgic bridge between past and present, underscoring how far the characters have come. What comes next? As November rolled into December, the big questions lingered. Is Noah safe, and can Sharon and Nick reach him in time? Will Kane stand by Phyllis or fight for Lily's respect? Does Claire and Kyle's porch kiss mark a new beginning? With secrets unraveling and emotions running high, Genoa City is heading into December with more questions than answers, exactly the way Y&R fans love it. Today's next update. Y&R spoilers, December 2nd, Nick's desperate message shakes Victor as a high-stakes plan emerges in Genoa City. The Young and the Restless is gearing up for a tense Tuesday episode as danger escalates in Los Angeles and a bold corporate gamble begins to take shape back in Genoa City. With family bonds tested and old alliances shifting, the December 2nd episode promises urgent decisions and consequences no one saw coming. Nick's alarming message, a family crisis, reaches its breaking point. Nick and Sharon's search for Noah in Los Angeles grows more dire by the hour. What started as a frantic hunt has turned into a terrifying maze of half-truths and dead ends, with Matt Clark, now using the alias Mitch Bacall, at the center of the chaos. The pair have been following Matt's taunts and riddles across the city, and after another unsettling discovery, the situation takes a sharply dangerous turn. On Tuesday, Nick manages to get a message out, one that shocks those who receive it. The details of the message remain under wraps, but it's described as urgent, alarming, and enough to send shockwaves straight to Genoa City. For Sharon and Nick, the danger is closing in fast. Not only is Noah still missing, but spoilers hint the two may be moments away from becoming trapped themselves. As tensions reach a breaking point in Los Angeles, a lifeline is desperately needed. Victor receives a dire SOS and immediately springs into action. Back home, Victor Newman receives Nick's distress message, and it instantly sets off alarm bells. The moment he realizes his family is in danger, Victor doesn't hesitate. He orders an emergency flight to Los Angeles, determined to take matters into his own hands. Victor has been monitoring the situation, but this new message pushes him from concerned patriarch to full crisis mode. He boards the Newman jet with a clear goal: track down Matt Clark, confront him head-on, and bring Noah home safely. While Victor's larger confrontation with Matt is set for later in the week, Tuesday's episode marks the moment the Newman powerhouse charges straight into the storm. And when Victor sets his sights on an enemy, the fallout is usually swift and brutal. Jack's radical solution: Jabot faces a temporary shutdown. Meanwhile, Genoa City is dealing with a completely different threat, one that could cripple the Abbott family legacy if handled poorly. Jack Abbott has been quietly piecing together a bold plan aimed at shielding Jabot from the ripple effects of Victor's controversial AI scheme. The proposal? Temporarily shutting down Jabot's online operations for at least 3 months. It's a drastic move, one no major corporation would ordinarily entertain. But with Victor's AI threat looming large, Jack believes it may be the only way to prevent catastrophic damage. The Abbotts have been divided on the issue, with Ashley and Tracy hesitant to take such a dramatic step. But after careful consideration, and Jack's insistence that this may be their only path forward, both sisters ultimately agree. With full family support secured, Jack chooses to move ahead, hoping Victor will never anticipate such a calculated sacrifice. The shutdown may be risky, but for Jack, protecting the company's reputation is worth the gamble. Audra pushes for one last chance, but Nate stands firm. Elsewhere in town, romance troubles take center stage at Crimson Lights. Audra Charles corners Nate Hastings in hopes of winning him back. Time has passed since their last heated exchange, and Audra assumes Nate may be more open to reconciliation. But Nate quickly shuts down the conversation. Despite Audra's attempts to reframe their past and offer her regrets, Nate isn't interested in revisiting the relationship. His rejection leaves Audra fuming, and in classic Audra fashion, she pivots straight into accusation mode, pointing out that Nate seems to be cozying up to Victoria once again. Nate doesn't deny it. And while nothing official has happened yet, their reconnection is gaining momentum. Audra is left to confront a hard truth: whatever she hoped to rebuild with Nate appears to be over. She'll have to rethink her romantic strategy, and fast. More turbulence ahead. With Victor on his way to Los Angeles, Jack preparing to pull the plug on Jabot's online division, and Audra staring down an unexpected heartbreak, Tuesday's episode pushes multiple storylines into explosive new territory. And for Sharon, Nick, and Noah, the danger is only just beginning. Today's next update. Y&R spoilers: December 1st, Phyllis and Lily declare war as Victor and Jack prepare for battle. The first episode of December launches the young and the restless into full combat mode, with personal grudges escalating and corporate tensions hitting a breaking point. Monday's drama centers on 3 explosive fronts: Phyllis versus Lily, Victor versus Kane, and the Newman-Abbott rivalry rising to a dangerous new level. Phyllis and Lily drop the act, the rivalry finally boils over. For weeks, Lily has acted indifferent to Kane's return, brushing off his attempts at reconciliation while insisting she's moved on. Kane, meanwhile, convinced himself that a dramatic gesture might win Lily back, only to end up in Phyllis's bed after a night of frustration, mixed motives, and barely buried resentment. What Kane didn't expect was that waking up beside Phyllis would cause the exact chain reaction he denied wanting. Lily noticed. On Monday, the truth finally cracks through everyone's cool exterior. Lily's calm facade gives way to sharp words and sharper stares, and Phyllis, who insisted she was staying above the drama, can't resist firing back. What starts as snide remarks quickly escalates into a full war of pride, insecurity, and unresolved history. Though Kane is supposedly the catalyst, the tension between these two women goes much deeper. For Lily, Phyllis represents poor choices and painful memories. For Phyllis, Lily symbolizes an ideal Kane will always run back to. Whether either of them wants to admit it, the fight is less about Kane and more about territory, identity, and the need to win. And Kane? He remains caught in the middle, increasingly aware he may not deserve the attention either woman is giving him. Victor sets another trap, and Kane never sees it coming. While Kane deals with emotional fallout, Victor Newman is preparing for a very different kind of confrontation. Victor has been locked in a tense strategic game with Kane ever since that AI threat blew up in spectacular fashion, and Monday's episode sees Victor tightening the net once again. Victor's philosophy has never changed: attack, dominate, and dismantle anyone who threatens the Newman empire. And in his eyes, Kane is not only foolish but predictable. This new trap is another step in Victor's methodical plan to remind Kane exactly who he's dealing with. Though the exact mechanics of the setup remain a secret, viewers can expect Victor to strike with precision, confidence, and a surprising level of personal satisfaction. And just when Kane believes he's survived the worst of Victor's wrath, he'll learn that Victor views this feud as far from finished. Jack strikes back. The Abbotts unite against Victor. But Victor's next target is already preparing for war. After dealing with Kane, Victor shifts his attention back to his long-standing rival, Jack Abbott. Victor's determination to control Jabot using the same AI power he leveraged against Arabesque has pushed Jack into action, and Monday marks the beginning of a radical defensive strategy. Jack gathers the Abbott family, Diane, Ashley, Tracy, and even Kyle, for an urgent meeting. The goal is simple: find a way to protect Jabot from becoming Victor's next casualty. While Victor expects resistance, he might not be ready for the level of unity Jack is building. The Abbotts have their differences, but when Jabot is threatened, they close ranks fast. Jack's plan, while extreme, is rooted in experience. He's gone up against Victor more times than he can count, and he knows the only way to survive a Newman attack is to be bold. And this time, Jack is not playing defense. He's preparing a counterstrike that could disrupt Victor's entire strategy. The battle lines are drawn. December begins with 3 clear wars ready to ignite. Phyllis versus Lily, fueled by old wounds and new jealousy. Victor versus Kane, driven by vengeance and pride. Victor versus Jack, the rivalry that never dies, only escalates. As tensions sharpen and alliances solidify, the opening days of the month set the stage for explosive fallout in both business and personal lives. And in true Genoa City fashion, no one plans to back down. Today's next update. Y&R, Kyle's risky move could blow up his future with Claire, and Victor won't let it slide. The Young and the Restless is setting the stage for another explosive Newman-Abbott showdown, and this time Kyle Abbott may be walking straight into a disaster of his own making. His attempt to step back into Claire Newman's life has already been complicated, but a new strategic blunder could turn Victor Newman from reluctant ally to full-blown enemy, and potentially derail any hope of a Claire-Kyle reunion. Kyle's hopeful Thanksgiving, and a dangerous misstep. After spending Thanksgiving with the Abbotts, Claire impulsively kissed Kyle, reopening the door to feelings both of them tried to suppress. For Kyle, the moment was enough to reignite hope, maybe even convince him that they could rebuild what Victor once tore apart. But wishing for a reunion is one thing. Protecting it is another. And Kyle's next move might be the one that destroys everything. During the week of December 1st to 5th, Kyle teams up with Diane Jenkins Abbott on what they believe is a smart, strategic mission, a dirt-digging operation aimed squarely at Victor. With Victor busy flying to Los Angeles to confront Matt Clark, the man hiding behind the Mitch Bacall identity, Kyle and Diane see an opportunity to gather information and help Jack Abbott mount a defensive strike. It's bold. It's risky. It's exactly the kind of plan Victor Newman loves to crush. Victor's complicated view of Kyle and why this matters. Despite his legendary hostility toward Jack and the Abbott empire, Victor had started warming to the idea of Kyle and Claire reconnecting. He wasn't thrilled, of course. Kyle is still an Abbott, after all. But Victor respected Kyle stepping up for Claire in moments that mattered. For a while, it looked like he had even stopped sabotaging the relationship. But if Kyle is caught digging for information behind Victor's back, that goodwill evaporates instantly. Victor has forgiven many things over the years, but betrayal, especially from someone he already sees as a questionable match for his granddaughter, is not one of them. If Kyle's involvement in this scheme is exposed, Victor could snap the door shut on the couple's second chance. And when Victor decides someone is bad for the Newman family, he doesn't argue. He eliminates the Abbott plan that could trigger a Newman war. While Victor deals with Matt Clark in LA, the Abbotts rally around their own looming crisis. Jack is determined to protect Chabot from Victor's AI-fueled corporate threats, and he's convinced that going on offense, not just defense, is the only way to survive. That's where Diane and Kyle come in. But this isn't just a harmless background operation. Victor is known for anticipating threats before they appear, and he rarely misses a crack in the armor. If he returns home and senses Abbott fingerprints on a counterstrike, Kyle could be the one he comes down on the hardest. Victor already sees Jack as a lifelong opponent. A nuisance. A rival he will never fully destroy, but will spend eternity trying. If he starts viewing Kyle the same way, any hope of Kyle and Claire rebuilding their connection could crumble instantly. Could Kyle's move doom Claire's chance at happiness? Claire is only beginning to stabilize her life after months of upheaval. Her ties to the Newman family are fragile but deeply important. If Victor turns against Kyle again, Claire will be caught in the middle and forced to choose. Victor won't forbid her outright, but he won't stay silent about how Abbott mistakes have burned her before. And Claire, who is trying to put her past behind her, may not be ready for a relationship that brings this level of catastrophic fallout. Y&R may be setting up a cruel twist. Kyle's attempt to help his family could be the very thing that destroys the one relationship he truly wants to fix. Today's bonus update: will Noah's return bring Nick and Sharon back together? While Kyle and Claire face uncertainty, another emotional storyline is unfolding across the country. Nick and Sharon remain in Los Angeles, determined to bring Noah home after learning he was injured in a car crash, and later kidnapped with Sienna. Their unexpected run-in with Matt Clark only deepened the mystery surrounding Noah's disappearance. What seemed like a simple parental mission has turned into a nightmare. And in the middle of the chaos, old feelings are resurfacing. A reunion waiting to happen? Earlier this year, Nick and Sharon shared a tender moment while visiting Kane Ashby's estate in Nice. They kissed, not as friends, not as co-parents, but as two people quietly admitting they still cared. Now, thrown together in another crisis, their bond is naturally strengthening again. They lean on each other. They fight for their son as a team. And the holiday season has a way of pushing old loves back into the light. If Noah returns safely, he could be the one who nudges them toward giving their relationship another legitimate try. With Phyllis distracted by her latest romantic entanglements, there's nothing standing in Nick and Sharon's way this time, except the fear of repeating old mistakes. But Y&R might be ready to give Chic fans what they've been waiting for. A quiet Christmas. A reunited family. And maybe, just maybe, a full romantic reboot. For more of the latest updates and behind-the-scenes secrets from Young and the Restless, make sure to hit subscribe and ring that bell. Stay in the know with every new release.